Welcome to Introduction to Business, offered by the College of Lake County online. This is 800 series. This is Business 121. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. We'll be utilizing Blackboard Course Management System and McGraw-Hill Connect interactive software. So this week we're going to be talking about Chapter 20, which is the last chapter of your book. Chapter 20 will be discussion on financial or the Federal Reserve, the banking system in the U.S. So if I look at the Federal Reserve, what you have to know, who's the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, what's money, and the book does a very good detail about explaining money. And if I look at money as it went from the barter system and why money made sense, especially when you're trying to distribute one's work versus one's services versus a tangible good versus a non-tangible good. Okay, now the money supply. You're going to have three things. The author talked about M1, M2, and M3. One you have to be concerned about is M2. M2 basically is what the economic system's money supply is measured by, and that's M2. That's basically the money, actual cash, and everything else, debit included in that, and then also savings and checking accounts. So that's the M2, which is the most common used in all economic equation. You have to know a little bit about the exchange rate and the global exchange rate. Whether you like it or not, the U.S. is in the international market. We're in a global world. We're no longer a flat economy. Our economy touches everyone else through the opening of the internet. And you could notice that yourself when you would buy something. Sometimes you buy something from England or from China directly, and it's converted. Master Visa card basically does all the conversion for you for a slight fee, depending on the exchange rate. What's it going for at the time that it is being processed? Okay, so you have that. Now the other things, what you'll look at is, let's see what we have. I gotta make sure you use your concept maps even when you're going for the exam. Concept maps is a real easy system of seeing the overall picture. Remember, you've read it, you've done the Connect homework, and now you use the concept maps that I've been supplying, and you'll do real well. Board of Governors, we're in District number 7. How does the economic condition of a country is by different districts. So if you look at it, even though District 7 may be struggling, some other districts may be doing very well. But if you put them all together, here's the economic condition of the U.S. at this present time. Some are saying we're leaving the recession. Some are saying we're still in the recession. Some are saying we're going back into the recession. Depends on the economic models that they've been using to determine it. The government is always giving you a positive light, saying that you were coming out of the recession. Okay, look at the banking system. The different, it used to be a difference between a commercial bank, a savings and loan, a credit union. There are different laws, but through the, like it or not, through the Republicans and the Democrats together, they wanted the free market to work. So they took all these restrictions off. Once you took all these restrictions off, everyone was doing everyone else's business. There wasn't anyone in the boundaries were kind of let go in like a Wild West free market. And that's what we're looking at now. A lot of the defaults, derivatives came out there. It's a complicated issue. All the derivative is I've got something here, but I'm selling a piece of paper saying that I don't really, I have it here, and you're buying a note saying, okay, if you need it, I'll take it out. Now somebody else takes my note and says, hey, you know what? I will sell that note, and I sell my note to somebody else, and that person sells that note to somebody else, and if somebody else insures all those other notes, saying, well, if you default, we'll come back. So in reality, we're insuring everything else. No one, only one person really has the actual commodity or asset there, and everything else is derivative. So it's like a phony cards that's like a trick mirror, for lack of a better word. I mean, if everyone paid off what it came and came back, there's no issue. But if you look at what happened with the housing market when they bundled everything else into, for lack of better words, into mutual funds or different kind of securities, and sold those securities off, and somebody else sold those securities off. So whoever actually owned the contract, after a while, you forgot who owned it. That's why you had a lot of the paper signing by the banks, because you never find the original owner because they went through so many different hands. Okay, so that's the banking system. So in a nutshell, they're working on it, and you're going to see more rules and regulations coming out of it. So note the difference between a credit union, what's a non-bank. There's a lot of banks out there that you don't really have to have a real bank because you could do everything online. You could now take your picture with your smartphone or your Android phone, and you never ever have to visit a bank. So you can see more and more of these banks popping up. The thing you have to look out for these banks, if you get a good interest rate, that means the higher interest rate for your money in the savings, because that's where banks used to be, savings and loan used to be able to say the money that comes in, I could lend out to for loans. But now the bank's taking the money that you're putting in the savings on, and they're playing with the money, taking high risk and everything else. So, like I said, there's a lot going on with the banking. Not as much as the Federal Reserve, but the Federal Reserve is the main body who controls all the individual banks, and you have to follow the rules. Okay, so look at the deposit. Remember, if you have a bank out there, you got a better rate. Make sure they have FDIC, that's Federal Deposit Insurance, or SAIF, Savings and Loan Insurance, or NCUI, National Credit Union Administration Insurance, and insure to the amount. If you don't have the insurance, especially if you got international banks that you're putting your money in, you've got that high interest rate, but if the bank defaults, you have nothing to fall on. You lose everything else. And so, just be worried. So you got the different things. The one thing you have to learn about the banking system is how does the banking system, the Federal Reserve, monitor or adjust the economic, what do you call it, the system. It does it through several things. It does it through, if you look at the it does it through the discount rate, and that's the interest rate it charges to other banks. It also does it by the reserve requirements, and the reserve requirements on the checking, how much a bank has to have on checking. So if it raises the reserve requirements, the bank has less money to give out potentially to people who are looking for loans. So, but if it wants to stimulate the economy and grow the economy, what it does is lowers the discount rate. That means the bank doesn't don't have to carry as much money on hand to justify the loan. The issue with that, if they lower it too much, then basically you're giving out loans and you have no cushion, for lack of a better word. And sometimes you don't have the assets to cover the loans that you're giving out. Remember, so you should have it. All the reserve requirement means is the bank has that money in case something happens, that there's a run on the bank. It has enough to pay its depositors and its creditors. Okay, so you'll find out that good chapter. So that's what we have on this chapter. Now, what do we have this week? You're going to be turning in your business plan at the end of the week, and I've extended it to usually it's either normally do on a Friday or a Thursday. But I think I've done it extended it to a Saturday. So you'll have the Saturday. You do not send me the business plan what do you call it, through the email. Sometimes it goes into the plan may be too large, or sometimes there's security issues because it's a larger file. You'll attach it in week 7. This week, after you finish this, you'll see a thing that says attach your business plan here. You'll click in there and you'll basically attach it. It'll say attach your business plan, and you'll go down. It says browse your my computer, and it's your computer looking at it. You'll click on there, find the file, and you'll click on there. You can put a little message, hey, Dr. M, here's the business plan, and attach it. When you attach that file, it has to be in a Word document. That means at the end it'll say, and here's how you have to do it. You'll write it up like George Mochocki, or whatever your name is, Dave Smith or Sally Smith, business plan, business 121, 800 series. And that's how and then you'll save it as a Word document. As the Word document, I'll have a DOC for 2003, or if you have DOCX for 2010. If you don't have Microsoft Word, or if you have Microsoft Works, which really is not a Microsoft Word document, but uses the word perfect. So I don't have that extension. I can't open it up. What you do when you're ready to save your file in another program other than Microsoft Word, you'll save it, save as. You'll scroll down there, and all browser, all word processors have a save as, even in what do you call it, in Macintosh or Apple computers. Hit save as, go down, and then you'll have a scroll bar at the bottom, and there you'll scroll down, it'll say save it as an RTF file, rich text file. I could open that up, or save it as a PDF file. I could open it up. It's like a picture, so it's Adobe has that, and everyone has an Adobe Reader on there, so I'll be able to open up. Okay, so I only see it in those 3. Submit it. let's say you submit it, I'll have it open. You can submit it anytime you want. I'll start grading them at the end of the when they're due, and I'll start grading them. When I start grading them, so when you submit it, when you go back into the grade book, what you will see in your grade book will be a green asterisk. All the green asterisk tells me is that you submitted something. Doesn't mean I can open it on. Okay, so you have that done, and then the following week you'll be doing your final. It's 100 questions, multiple choice. They're in order, so departmental final. If you go into week 8, will be open by then. I'll open up for I think Saturday or Sunday for you, so you can get a jump start and get it done. 100 questions, you have more than enough time. It's usually it's supposed to be like a minute per question. So you got let's see, an hour and a half. But I think it's an online. I'll give you a little more time than just to make sure that you do well. So don't freak out on that, and then you should be all done. And then the final grade that you see, and how you have in Blackboard, you'll say your overall grade. That's the grade you're going to be submitted to the registrar. If you don't do your final, if you don't submit your business plan, I don't do any completes. You'll just basically get a 0 for that once I do the grading, and that'll be the grade that's submitted. Okay, so and now in the business plan, remember when you submit the business plan, make sure you have 13 headers, you have the business words identified, and you look in the business plan, you look at the rubrics, you have the key concepts in bold so I can pick them up real easily, and you have the 13 headers, the executive summary, the company, the marketing. I don't want them grouped, I want them separately because I'm grading each one of them as its own merit, and I look at those and I look at other students what they turned in versus what you turned in, so you should do pretty good. The business plan, some people are asking how long. It should be let's say you'll be working on this. I have a forum open that will discuss the business plan, ask any questions in the forum. You can just say, Dr. M, I don't have any questions, but I still want you to respond and help somebody else within the forum if you want the full 20 points, easy point. And if you know something that somebody else is, I don't know how I do the marketing, and you've got an idea. Remember, you've been together already for a while. You should be able to help each other out. This kind of skills, emotional skills, is this helping each other out through a network, even though you may not get anything back in return from the individual, is how you build a network. Once you have that network down the road, you never know when somebody else is going, hey, I remember Dr. George, or hey, yes, I need something. Oh, I remember you. You were in my class and you helped me out. Okay, so we should be done pretty good. Good chapter on banking. Do the reading. Your connect points. Oh, let me forget. Let's not forget about the connect. You've got them to connect. I know some students use the connect to study because that'll be part of the departmental final. It'll be in there, so you may want to use the connect for that. You have the one quiz. It's worth 10 points to connect. You could do them. You get the 10 points. You don't have to do them if you've been an active connect user. I will give you those 10 points as a bonus here and bonus working for me, doing such a good job in this class. Okay, so that's about it. Remember, chapter 20 is the last chapter. You'll be doing turning in your business plan at the end of this week, and then next week you'll be doing your final exam, and you're done. So this class went pretty quick. I enjoyed having you in class. So try to spend time with your families and friends before the class ends. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is Introduction to Business online offered by the College of Lake County, utilizing Blackboard course management system. Thank you.